So I was talking to one of my human friends, and I noticed something fascinating, which is completely different from my planet Mangosphere. Humans can survive traffic, tighter deadlines, midnight cravings, and broken Wi-Fi. But one sentence said in the wrong tone can emotionally delete the entire day. I watched a human drink coffee calmly for 8 minutes straight. Then another human said, "We need to talk." And suddenly the coffee tasted like betrayal. This is not a strength issue. This is not an intelligence issue. This is an emotional reflex issue, and it is absolutely hilarious to observe. So today, I am documenting the strange human talent of getting angry, staying angry, and then wondering why their mood feels heavy, like a backpack full of bricks they packed themselves. Here's the first thing I noticed. When humans get angry, the body reacts fast. Heart rate increases, jaw tightens, thoughts start sprinting like they're late for something important. This chemical storm is real, it is physical, it is automatic. But here is the funny part. The storm naturally passes very quickly. The body flushes it out. It literally cleans itself up. And then humans say, "No thank you, I would like to continue being upset." So they replay the moment. They rehearse imaginary arguments. They win debates that never happened. They deliver Oscar-worthy comebacks to people who are currently brushing their teeth peacefully. The body wanted calm. The mind ordered a sequel. Humans are not angry for long periods. Humans keep restarting anger manually. Once I noticed this, everything made sense. Then I heard humans say something strange. They know exactly how to push my buttons. This sentence appears often. It is said with confidence. It is said with surrender. It is said as if humans are sold with pre-installed buttons like a microwave. This confused me. Because buttons only work if they are wired to something, and nobody arrives on Earth with strangers pre-wired into their emotional system. So I watched carefully. Whenever a button was pushed, the reaction was never new. It was familiar, old, well-practiced, same tone, same feeling, same explosion. That is when I realized, no one pushes buttons, they expose loose wires. If a comment activates rage, it is not because the comment is powerful, it is because it touched something unresolved, sensitive, or meaningful. This is not bad news, this is diagnostic information. Humans call it being triggered, I call it emotional X-ray imaging. Another discovery surprised me. Anger is loud. Anger is dramatic. Anger arrives early and speaks over everyone. But anger is rarely the real issue. Anger is the emotional bodyguard. It shows up to protect quieter feelings that don't want to be seen. Hurt does not like microphones. Fear prefers subtitles. Shame hides behind furniture. So anger steps forward like, "I will handle this." A human feels dismissed. Anger shouts. A human feels unappreciated. Anger throws a fit. A human feels unseen. Anger flips tables emotionally. Anger feels strong. Vulnerability feels risky. So anger volunteers as spokesperson. The problem is, anger is excellent at noise, but terrible at resolution. While observing this, I noticed a tiny moment most humans miss. Right after the trigger, right before the reaction. It is extremely small. It is extremely quiet, and it holds enormous power. This is the pause. Most humans sprint past it. They react first and analyze later. They send messages they later apologize for. They respond in ways they later re-explain. But when a human learns to notice the pause, something changes. Instead of being pulled by emotion, they stand next to it. The pause is not about suppression. It is about choice. Reacting feels automatic. Responding feels intentional. One creates regret, the other creates respect. At this point, I noticed something else. Inside humans, there is a part that watches all of this happen. A calm observer, a neutral witness. This part notices anger rising without becoming anger. It thinks thoughts like, "Interesting, irritation has arrived," instead of, "This person is unbearable." This observer does not panic. It does not shout. It does not type emotional essays. It simply watches. Humans already use this part accidentally. When chaos happens and a human stays oddly calm, that was the observer. When emotions rise but don't hijack the moment, observer online. The observer is not special. It is underused. Once humans learn to activate it intentionally, emotions stop driving the vehicle and start riding in the back seat. Then came my favorite discovery. Humans label certain other humans as difficult. I observed these difficult humans closely. They interrupt, they criticize, they test patience, they apply pressure. At first, humans assume punishment, but I noticed something else. These difficult humans unintentionally train emotional skills: patience, boundaries, self-regulation, self-respect. They are not villains. They are resistance. Just like muscles grow under resistance, emotional strength grows under challenge. Once humans see difficult people as training simulations instead of enemies, reactions soften. I also noticed humans stay in conversations far past their emotional capacity. They continue while overwhelmed. They speak while flooded. They argue while exhausted. This rarely ends well. Again, sometimes the smartest move is a pause. 5 minutes of space prevents hours of regret. Finally, I discovered the most important thing. Humans do not react to events. They react to the story about the event. Same situation, different interpretation, completely different emotion. A message can be seen as rejection or urgency. An eye roll can be seen as disrespect or distraction. Stories are powerful, and they are editable. Once humans learn to question their story, emotions loosen their grip. So here is my conclusion. The calmest humans are not unbothered because life is easy. They are calm because they practiced awareness. They learned the pause. They stopped feeding emotional storms. They built boundaries instead of walls. They became observers instead of reactors. Anger stopped running the system. Choice took over. And once that happens, peace stops feeling fragile. It becomes normal. Next time someone triggers you, just take a pause. Remember, Mango Man is your friend and always ready to train your mind. Please subscribe before I go back to my planet Mango Sphere.